because we looked like we were creating chances, especially with Yokota on the right. Gassama on the left, I thought he was pretty effective. He beat his man a few times to get us into a space and to get us moving forward into the final third, and I would have just left it as it was. I don't know the reason for it, but Derek McInnes at half time decided to take off Asgard, put Ross McCrory on at left back, and go to a 4 at the back instead of what we were doing with a 3 at the back. I don't understand why. I don't really know what he was trying to benefit from it. All I do know is that it did not work, and it was a terrible decision that will lie with the manager. We basically just conceded control. We just gave up. We surrendered possession. We surrendered control of the game. We surrendered areas on the pitch that we were dominating. Maybe not dominating, but being much more competitive in. And yeah, we just let them back into the game, and the goal was always going to come. I think everybody in the crowd could feel that it was coming. Rangers couldn't play the ball, couldn't pass the ball, couldn't do anything that we did well in that first half, and it led to a chance for them. We didn't get out to close the ball down quick enough. The ball's into the back post and it's headed away, and that's pretty much all that she wrote. We made a number of changes. Eventually Ross McCrory got moved out to the right. It was all a little bit smell of desperation for me from Derek McInnes tonight, and yeah, just no creativity at all in that second half, really. We were close with a Shankland, it was a Mijovski header that just went by the post. I think it was a shot as well from Dragojevic at the edge of the box as well. But it was both of them by the post, and yeah, just a very disappointing night overall, and Rangers are out of the chance of qualifying for the Europa League proper. And yeah, it's poor. There's warning signs, red flags, there's all sorts going on right now. There's nothing to reassure Rangers fans that this disastrous start of the season is going to turn around anytime soon. Players like Lon Shankland, yes, he scored the penalty, but apart from that, completely ineffective. Terrible touches on the ball, really slow looking, really not having any sort of impact up front. Nadiri is what Nadiri is, literally just runs about a bit, and yeah, we're screaming out for anything really right now. We really are screaming out for anything. It's a really sore one to take tonight, and I think it just cements the feeling amongst the support of just how poor this is.
It just doesn't look like we're anywhere near ready to win games, especially consistently. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm hoping we win the odd one, you know what I mean? I'd love to see us go on a run, especially win at the weekend, because there's no excuses to do that. And I mean, the law of averages is going to kick in eventually, but in terms of being what we want them to be and be this rampant Rangers side that wins week in and week out, by God, it looks miles away, especially when you see us playing like that. The tactics being ripped up every 12 and a half minutes. Again, players getting played all over the place, and that's when I think some of the frustration that again has been aimed at the players, aimed off the park. I think some of that frustration now needs to land in the shoulders of Derek McInnes, because to me, despite everything else we've spoken about, I think the big man's got to hold a lot of the responsibility for what that second half devolved into. And where I'm no daft, I know Derek McInnes is going to be a hot topic. Again, social media will be right with getting him kicked out the football club. That was certainly the voice of certain people at the end of the game of football. Again, a couple of conversations I had regarding the game, some people just didn't think it's going to work under Derek, or it's no going to work. And again, I understand why people are seeing it that way, because there's very little patterns of play. In fact, there's no patterns of play, the tactical tweaks, players getting played out of position, certain players getting picked anyway, despite seemingly offering nothing to this team, yet they're picked over certain guys that didn't get chances. There is so many questions, and it is an absolute mess. Where I understand this won't be a popular opinion, I'm not quite there to scream to get him out the football club. Again, I'll scream at the top of my lungs for players to F off with the performative stuff and get up the tunnel until they actually win something, but in terms of kicking a manager out, I'm just not 100% confident that 4 games, considering the mess we're in, the way we've been recruiting, the players we've got, and the job that needs to be done in the squad, is quite enough. Now again, if this continues and it continues to spiral out of control the way it seemingly always does, then yeah, everybody will be right that's screaming to sack him, but I'm just going to cling on to that 0.1% faith and 0.1% hope that it does come down, because again, we are a football club that's spiralling drastically out of control every single season, and just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it does get worse. So continuing the cycle of sacking, being then filled with players that the previous manager wanted, or the previous manager wanted, or the previous manager wanted, them sucking the wage bill in, then we're having to restart the cycle again, and it all goes down, isn't helping this football club. So I'm willing just to give it a wee bit of time in terms of that department, but where I don't think we should sack the laddie the night. What he needs to do though is wake the hell up.
That was pathetic, that second half performance. First half there was so much, in my opinion, positivity. There was so much that Rangers done a lot better than what they have done so far under Derek McInnes, and that second half performance has just put any of that good work gone. It's out the window. Frustrating isn't even the word, folks. It really isn't even the word. I would usually say at this point I'm delighted to be joined by, but I'll be honest with you lads. Actually, that's albeit it hasn't went the way we've wanted it to go this season so far, right? That's fair. But at no point this season have I been like absolutely properly raging. I've tried to be as positive as I can, and I've tried to look at things and go, right, well, we're here, but we could go there. And I've never been absolutely raging after a game, even though we've been ridiculously under par so far this season. I'm proper angry after that. I'm proper angry, simply because of that first half performance and how, to me, regardless of the changes that Derek McInnes made, the team absolutely bottled it in that second half. Ian, mate, welcome along. What's your immediate reaction to that?
Whatever he did at halftime killed us. Absolutely killed us dead. We looked the better team in the first half. We looked like we were going to win it. I think wasn't exactly perfect in the first half, but probably some of the best we've played so far this season. And then we make one change to go back to a flat back four. Absolutely kills all momentum. The players don't seem to know what they're meant to be doing in that 4-4-2 sort of situation. And we died a death. McInnes got it wrong. I don't think there was too much you can really complain about the starting team, but the halftime change, it's not McCrory's fault. He comes on for Asgard, and that shows you that we do miss Asgard when he's not in the middle of that pitch, because we just died a death. And I don't think it's angry. I just think it's acceptance that that's what we do now.
Yeah, it's an embarrassing night for the football club again. And it's funny, we've obviously both been driving home from the game tonight and thoughts are racking through your brain, and I don't think it's ever been as bad as this, right? What we're watching at the moment, the Rangers, in my memory, in terms of recent years anyway. But actually, see that sentence, Kyle, and that phrase, we're saying that every year now. Like, we are regressing at a serious rate, you know? And this is under multiple owners now, right? Multiple ownerships, it's both.
We've only spent the bones of 60 million quid, but this time in a year.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, just like I said at the start, an embarrassing night for the football club, woeful, abysmal, whatever word you want to put on it. Incredibly disappointing, which is what we're hearing from Derek McInnes. And these players have to take responsibility. I think some of them are simply not good enough to play for Rangers, and I think we all know that as a collective and what we're watching to the start this season. But I do think that Derek McInnes has to take a lot of responsibility to what we witnessed at Ibrox this Stephen. The original setup from McInnes, I thought he got spot on. I thought he really nullified Jagiellonia this evening. I thought he put them under pressure, he pressed them high, he made them go long, and it worked. It really worked, and he got it spot on. Took a lot of risks with his team, with Gassama as the left wing back, Yokota as the right wing back, and we got a lot of joy from it. And why he has decided to make that change at half time to switch to a back four, which isn't really the problem, right? Switching to a back four isn't the issue. The issue is switching to a back four and continue with two strikers, because where we had joy this evening was that we flooded the middle of the park. We made it more difficult for us to play through, and we were relying on those two wide players to try and help us get up the park, and it was working. Derek McInnes says, I don't know what it is. Listening to his interview after it, he felt that they were getting a lot of space on the flanks. Well, that's what happens when you play a 3-5-2. You know, that's it. You give up space in the wide areas. That's that system. But sometimes you just have to weigh it up. The trade-off. There's always trade-offs in football. And I thought we were getting the better of that. To make that change at half-time is just simply unforgivable. And it was something I posted after the game. Again, a little bit emotional. But I think if he insists with this 2-striker formation, Kyle, or whatever shape he wants to play, and he insists with 2 strikers, it will cost him his Rangers managerial career. It will.